Hi, I'm Dr. Sally Norton. Now, in the 15 years or so that I've spent as an NHS consultant specialising in weight loss, there's one question that comes up time after time, and that is, what is the best diet out there? And I'd like to answer that question for you today. Now, it's really confusing, isn't it? Should we be on the low-fat diet, low-carb diet? Should we be on the Dukan, the Atkins, the South Beach, the food combining diet, the alkaline diet? Should we be counting calories? Should we be counting points? Should we be fasting on the 5-2 diet? It's just impossible to know what the best diet is. And every time we open the newspaper, there's yet another celebrity telling us about their special diet, or we've got a friend telling us that they've just lost a few pounds on something else. And we just don't know what to do. We end up flitting from one thing to another. So what is the best diet? Well, all of the years that I've spent researching these various studies have shown me that actually there's very little difference between any of them. They all work, but yet again, they all don't work. What do I mean by that? Well, virtually any study of these diets shows that patients who go on them for a few weeks will lose some weight. You know, it's not surprising really. If you cut out fats, if you cut out carbs, if you fast for a few days, you're bound to lose weight. But when these studies look back at people a year later, they find that virtually everyone has fallen off their diet. Most of them have regained all of the weight and more. So they might work short term, but chances of them working long term are very slim. And there is no one diet that's any better than the other. I mean, if there were, the NHS would be shouting about it, would be telling you all, because the NHS is struggling to cope with all of the costs associated with obesity, and we want people to lose weight if they need to. So believe me, if there was one diet that worked 10 times better than the others, we'd tell you about it. So what should you do instead? Well, actually, the diet that is best is the one that you can stick to, and that's different for everybody because everybody is different. You might have different ways of working, your family issues may be different. So what works for you will be different from what works for a celebrity, what works for your friend. And the trick is to actually find changes that you can make that are sustainable. All of those diets have got good and bad things about them. So yes, we need to eat less fat, the bad fats, but we need to be making sure we're eating good fats. We should be cutting out on the heavily processed carbs, but still eating the healthy carbs that also give us lots of fibre. Yes, there's something to be said for a bit of fasting, but not if you're starving yourself for 2 days and then filling up on junk food for the rest of the time. So the trick is to take small components of each of those diets, the bits that are actually based on common sense and science, and put those together into an eating plan that you can actually sustain for good. The healthiest way of eating that we've found so far is along the lines of the Mediterranean diet, which is more about fish and nuts and fresh fruit and veg and avoiding processed food as much as possible. So if you incorporate all of those different components along with a healthy way of eating, then that is the best diet for you. Keep it up for good, and that gives you the best possible chance of losing weight in a healthy and sustainable way.